It is the final day of the NPL Men's Victoria regular season, and this afternoon we're at George Andrews Reserve for the last game of the respective seasons of Dandenong Thunder and Moreland City. Two teams with nothing left to play for in the campaign, but nonetheless will look to head into the off-season on a high. It is also, as we heard announced earlier today, the end of an era for Moreland City. Head coach David Ostojic announcing that he will step down from the head coach role heading into next season. The coach who's taken Moreland City through a wonderful couple of years in the top flight of Victorian football. They will, though, be heading back to the second tier in season 2025. We are out nice and early for this one, a couple minutes, in fact, earlier than scheduled for the 3 o'clock kickoff. We'll run you through the two lineups in, well, soon after the game kicks off. Our central referee, William Quartermain, just waiting to make sure that all is in order and that the timing is what he's after. And indeed, we are underway now. Final game of the season for Dandenong Thunder and Moreland City. The already relegated Moreland taking on a Dandy Thunder whose season hasn't quite gone to plan. They're first under Adam Piddick, but they'll be hoping to get some things in order heading into their next campaign of top flight football. Adam Piddick has made 7 changes to the team that got the 2-1 win over Melbourne Knights on Monday night in a comically rescheduled meeting out at Summers Street. But with those 7 changes, it's only Mirza Mehmedi, Sevdim Ismaili, Thomas Dunn and Ali Suleimani remaining in the team who started that game. Just saw Ali Suleimani there on the ball, one of those few players retained. Danny Dixon there, unable to keep the ball in play, so it will be a Moreland City throw. Moreland, meanwhile, in Dave Stojic's final game as head coach. 3 changes have been made, with Apaya Kuno and Dean Waters both dropping to the bench to start this afternoon's game, whilst Aidan Croucher is out of the squad altogether. Into the 11 as a result come Rahul Suresh, Legion Kiffle and the return of top scorer Jose Sands. It's just Theodorokopoulos now out to the right-hand side with Diego Cuba for Moreland City. Back to Matt Spall, one of the ever-presents for Moreland City this campaign. And they're happy to be patient. Theodorokopoulos again, of course, rejoined the club midway through this season from Manningham. Now out to the left-hand side, a bit of early possession for the visitors, Moreland City. Before Dandy Thunder are quickly able to reclaim the ball. There's the direct approach, which is taken with that long ball over the top, but Corey Thomas uses all of his experience to read the ball effectively and calmly head it down to a teammate. Just running through the Dandy Thunder 11 with those 7 new names in the lineup. In goal is the youngster Anthony Van Riet. Number 2, Joseph Romero. 4, as mentioned, Sevdim Ismaili. And 5, Mirza Mehmedi. 10, Thomas Dunn. 11, Ali Suleimani. 14, Danny Dixon. We'll pause that as Moreland City have an early chance to get a shot away. Shot does come in, but it's well blocked. Kasra Karamad. But after Danny Dixon in the 14 shirt, number 16, Mohamed Selamovsky, 20, Brandon Kildare, 37, Artem Baki, and 45, Harris Rizmani. So a couple of youngsters given a run by Adam Piddick. Dixon there, closed down by Thomas. Ball played in by Romero from the left fullback position. An attempted clearance is blocked by Jose Sanz, but Dandy Thunder nonetheless come away with the ball. And now with Selamovsky. Selamovsky into Ismaili, and now Dixon again, who's been heavily involved in the opening minutes. Space for the turn from Dunn, who tries his luck from range. Just pulled the strike a little bit. So it'll be a first goal kick of the afternoon to be taken by Alex Condolian. Hearing David Stoich having a bit of a chat on the sideline just prior to kickoff, talking about how he was happy to be stepping down and taking a bit of a break. It's another chance here for Dandenong Thunder on the quick winning back of the ball, but Harris Rizmani went a little bit too soon and was flagged for offside. So an early chance for Dandy Thunder does go begging. Heading into this last round of fixtures, Moreland City rooted to the bottom of the table, as they have been for quite some time, more or less the whole season, with just the 11 points accumulated from their 25 games. Taking on a Dandenong Thunder team who start the weekend in 10th spot, so well outside of contention for the top 6. 9 points they trail Dandenong City, who are the final team in that top 6, and there's a huge gap between 6th and 5th as well. So certainly not ending up where they would have hoped at the beginning of the season, Dandy Thunder. Thomas looks centrally towards Karamat. And Cuba escapes from the early pressure applied by Rizmani. Seen a few early spells in possession for Moreland City, just taking their time and being patient with it. Results do go their way this afternoon, Dandy Thunder. They could jump up into 9th position ahead of Altona Magic. Although if everything goes wrong, they could drop down a position into 11th, with St Albans poised to strike. Well, that outcome does seem rather unlikely when you consider St Albans' opposition this weekend as they head to Lakeside to take on South Melbourne. Suleimani worked it well in combination with Dunn. Now Selamovsky. Back to Danny Dixon. Dixon goes himself. That strike had plenty of venom, but wasn't able to beat the defence. And eventually they'll come away unscathed, Moreland City, after a bit of a press applied by Dandy Thunder. So Kasra Karamad doing well to chest the ball down. You'd imagine that a few of these Moreland City players would be looking to impress one more time this afternoon in the hopes of perhaps securing a move to a top flight club for next season. Whereas for Dandy Thunder, not a surprise to see Adam Piddick rolling out some of the younger players who've had fewer opportunities when you consider some of the newer regulations in terms of the amount of young players that teams will have to feature next season onwards. Certainly a team have a healthy reputation, Dandenong Thunder, of producing some really excellent footballers. Ball one back in the middle of the park by Thunder. And now Thomas Dunn carries the ball forward. Has run into a roadblock, though, in the shape of Ailey. Now there's the attempt to move down the left-hand side where Theodorakopoulos is. It's running through that 11 for Moreland City. In goal is Alex Kendelian. Number 2, Rahul Suresh. 7, Chris Theodorakopoulos. 8, Corey Thomas. 9, Jose Sanz. 10, Chudia Tarjith. 12, Matt Spall. 16, Elijan Kiffel. 19, Kasra Karamad. 21, Diego Cuba. And 23, Neumann Ailey. It's a bit more of a familiar lineup put out by Xavier Stojic for the final game of the campaign. Suleimani is again the target. Does wrestle back control of the ball for retreating to Mersin Mehmedi. This is Kildare. Looks inside to Ismaili. And Ismaili goes cross field. Romero. The move ends back with the feet of Suleimani, who again goes with the diagonal. Selamovsky, ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Corey Thomas. And now there's perhaps a chance for a counter from Moreland City. Theodorakopoulos spreads it out to the left-hand side. And that one didn't exactly go to plan for Jose Sanz. Of course, as much as it's been an arduous season for Moreland City, perhaps one of their great moments this season did come against Dandenong Thunder in the earlier meeting between these two teams. It was Moreland City's first win of the campaign. Had to wait all the way until round 13 for it. Picked up the 3 points on a memorable occasion. 4 first half goals, including a couple from the man we just saw, Jose Sanz. Other goals coming from a couple of players starting on the bench today, and Michael Tsoutsidas and Apaya Kuno. Dangerous giveaway as Moreland City look to work their way out from the back. Seven Ismaili very nearly pouncing. And Diego Cuba just showing a little bit too much ambition in a tight area for his head coach's liking. Long ball forward. Mehmedi wins the head down. Now Ismaili looks towards Dunn. Ball is won back by Tarjith. It's out towards Theodorakopoulos, but hoofed away over the byline. This, of course, the final match day of the regular season, which means that we're having all of the fixtures taking place concurrently. Not too many with a huge amount of significance this afternoon. The two big ones being Heidelberg playing at home to Dandy City and Oakley Cannons hosting Hume City. Those games will determine the final lineup at the top end of the ladder. Also giving us a bit of a preview into some potential finals meetings. Strong run through. Suresh turns the ball down the right-hand side. Good run made by Kasra Karamad. Ends in a Moreland City throw. As Sands tries his luck, and audacious attempt. Chance will be kept alive by Tarjeth. And the shove from the back draws the whistle of the referee. So Moreland City will get another chance to send the ball into the area.
I thought 4 years. Yeah,
Yes. Get them following in. Make sure they're following in. Matty, come over here. Come over here.
So what can they manufacture from the dead ball situation, Moreland City? It's a direct attempt, and it drew a dive from Anthony Van Riet, but it was ultimately off target. So first real look at goal from Moreland City. Diego Cuba's strike, though, off target, so Dandy Thunder escape unscathed and now look to launch their own attack forward. Solomovsky loses out as he makes his way down the right-hand side. Suleimani now gets it back as the Thunder captain and now plays it out towards Romero. Dixon forced into retreat to his defence. You just see how much Ali Suleimani is involved in these attacking moves for Dandy Thunder, but they've given the ball away. And Diego Cuba has Jose Sands, and then the overlapping run from Tarjeth, who goes himself towards the near post. Ball looked to be kept in play, but the assistance flag is raised. The ball did end up in the back of the net, but the flag was up several seconds before that. So that's as close as we've come so far. Tarjeth firing towards the near post and forcing a decent save from Van Riet.
One point. Talking about Jack.
A couple of good moves from Moreland City after looked as if Thunder were taking a bit of control of the game. Once more. That time it's I think a handball that's been called by William Quartermain, which denies Theodorakopoulos.
There was handball.
Yeah, I understand,
but yeah, you're right.
David Stojic is ever engaged in some good-humoured dialogue on the sideline, saying that there was a high boot before the handball in protest of the call that was made. It's good to see both these teams showing some attacking intent. These are two of the three lowest scoring teams in NPL Men's Victoria this season. At a particularly jarring statistic for Dandy Thunder. They're right at the bottom of the pile when it comes to goals scored. Just 26 of them to their name in 25 games this season. It's really been their relatively solid defence which has kept them out of danger and somewhat competitive in the middle of the pack. That has to be the key area of improvement going forward for Dandy Thunder. Just the number of goals that they were scoring. We've seen just in this game alone how significant of a player Ali Suleimani is to their attacking moves. They just need a few more dimensions to their attacking play, you feel. See Ali just inviting a bit of the pressure from Rizmani. Suleimani retreats to Kildare, former Port Melbourne youth player Brandon Kildare. But the Moreland press pays off. The through ball, though, towards Jose Sands, misplaced. Right now, this game is going the way of Moreland City. They've just been able to pin Thunder back for a little while and win the ball back in a few dangerous positions, as we see Suresh looking to repeat the trick. Danger for Thomas. And the header initially from Rizmani was into the space behind, but quick off his line was Alex Kondolian. It's the turn from Kiffel out of a tight space and has the support of Theodorakopoulos. Now Spall. Heard the booming voice behind him of Theodorakopoulos. This is where he plays the ball. But the cross into the penalty area leaves a little bit to be desired. Now Romero again goes to the youngster in Rizmani, and this time the referee's whistle will mean Dandenong Thunder have a follow-up chance. It does also prompt first yellow card of the afternoon, shown to Neumann Ailey. So something for the central defender to worry about for the remainder of this game. And also something for his team to worry about more immediately as the free kick chance materialises. Danny Dixon, of course, is a real threat from this kind of distance. See also Merzim Mehmeti standing nearby, just looking to put a little bit of doubt in the goalkeeper's mind as to which direction the shot will come from as he organises his wall, but this looks to be pretty clear-cut Danny Dixon opportunity. Strike comes in, it's a good attempt! And a wonderful goal scored by Danny Dixon to give Dandy Thunder the lead from the free kick situation. He snuck it in past the wall and into the corner to give his team the advantage on the final day of the season. A lovely strike, which had plenty of power and bend to be out of the reach of Alex Kondolian. So Danny Dixon gives Thunder the lead. They're not the first team to score on this final match day. As we take a look around the grounds, Melbourne Knights have themselves a lead at Gully Reserve. Avondale leading at J.L. Murphy against Port Melbourne. And well, there's been plenty of goalmouth action early on at Paisley Park. An early Manningham goal cancelled out by 2 Altona goals. As Moreland City look for a quick response with the cross coming in from the right-hand side. And alert to the danger. And just as we see the sun peeking out from behind the clouds. On what is an unusual afternoon fixture at George Andrews. That goal for Danny Dixon, his second of the season. Really good to see him back playing regular football after a number of off-field troubles that he's had to deal with and some health concerns. He's really made the rounds at NPL Victoria clubs. When you look at his resume, Bentley, Melbourne Knights, Heidelberg, Hume as well. He's been all over the shop. And now in the southeast, scoring a wonderful goal to give his team the advantage in this final day fixture.
Może za chmury. Za chmurą pójdzie, to może być.
So is there to be a response from Moreland City? It's a defensive header, I think coming from Brandon Kildare, which ultimately drew the save. Just a momentary heart and mouth experience for the young central defender. But his goalkeeper was there to bail him out, and now Ali Suleimani looks to take the counter forward for Thunder. This is Dunn. Looks to work it out in combination with Selamovsky. Dunn with the strike. And drew a really good save from Alex Kondolian. The young shot stopper, one of the key tenets of this Moreland City team over the last couple of seasons. And that was a really good save and a good rebound from having conceded that free kick a couple of minutes ago. So the subsequent corner is sent in. It skimmed off the head at the near post, I believe, of Harris Rizmani, and threatened just for a moment to sneak in at the far corner, but fortunately for Moreland City it does instead go the other side and out for another corner. So really looking to press their advantage now are Dandy Thunder. Mirzim Mehmeti will deliver the in-swinging corner from that far side. Indeed he does. It only meets a Moreland City head in Cuba. And the follow-up shot is a real P-roller right into the hands of Kondolian, who looks to move quickly out towards Tarjith. Strong defence executed there by Mohamed Selamovsky. Bit of space was the target down the right-hand side where Rahul Suresh was making his run. Just a little bit too skinny, allows the goalkeeper to come out and deflect the foray forward. Careful charges as Tarjith. Theodorakopoulos skips past one, but not the next. Karamad, the reverse pass for Sands. Sands tries to be clever in finding Spall. And Suleimani just unable to keep the ball in play, so Diego Cuba will get us restarted. Right up to Jose Sands, who looks to have caught the studs of his opponent. It's just a little bit worse for wear after that coming together. So hopefully nothing too severe for Moreland City's equal top scorer this season, along with Theodorakopoulos. Not all of those goals coming in Moreland City colours this season for Theodorakopoulos, but both he and Sands have 9 to their name in the competition. So hoping to end the campaign in double figures. They both will for sure, as that ball through is quickly cut out by Spall. Sands sets away Suresh. Still Rahul Suresh. He's got lots of space, plays the cross in. Theodorakopoulos was the target, but aptly dealt with by Artem Baki, the 22-year-old. Getting his opportunity, and he read that situation with great composure. Ailey, the one man on a yellow card from the first, well, nearly half hour played here at George Andrews. Goes in board to Kiffle, who looks down the left-hand side. It's a decent run being made by Karamad, but he just couldn't work his way all the way through. Follow-up shot comes in from Theodorakopoulos. All the power really taken out of it with the way that he got his boot stuck in the process of getting the shot. Cuba now. Again, they look to the left, Moreland City. Cuba again. This time goes towards the far post. His cross, though, has too much on it for Rahul Suresh. And so we tick past half an hour played in Melbourne Southeast. And it's a Danny Dixon free kick that presently separates the two teams. Although fair to say that Moreland City have been more than competitive thus far. Just really lacking that final touch. The final pass or the shot hasn't been there just yet. This is Ailey for Moreland City. Now to Karamad. And they're happy to be patient for now. Cuba turns into some space. Looks out to the right-hand side with Spall. Spall goes the cross. It's a good one too. Sands with the touch. And the follow-up header is put in by Theodorakopoulos. It's goal number 10 of the season. It was really made by the magnificent cross sent in by Spall. And as close as Jose Sands was, it's Theodorakopoulos who ends up being first to 10 goals for the campaign. Of course, Christos Theodorakopoulos did score 8 goals in Moreland's promotion from NPL2 a couple of years ago. And he's ending their run in the top flight with a goal to his name on the final day too. So probably a deserved equaliser for the visitors, as they look to add to their points tally, and at present they'd be ending the season with 12 of them. They really had seized control of the general play since that Danny Dixon opener. And as we tick past half hour and a check of the scores around the ground, we do have at least one goal in every game, bar the two with probably the most riding on them, the Heidelberg Dandy City and the Oakley Hume games. This is a real chance though for Thunder, and they reclaim their lead. Quick, smart. They cut right through the Moreland City defence, and soon after the visitors had brought the game level, it's Thunder who reclaim their lead. Thomas Dunn is the scorer. He looked really threatening in the first few minutes and now has a goal to his name. Although there is some conversation between the central referee and his assistant as to the legality of that goal. You see the Moreland City players pleading their case, but it looks as if That goal may stand. We'll wait for confirmation of that. And indeed it does. Thomas Dunn putting Dandenong Thunder back in the lead. Just a couple of minutes after Moreland City had equalised. Certainly defensive fragility has been a real problem for Moreland City this season. Coming into the weekend, it was 65 goals conceded from their 25 games. The offside flag will deny Jose Sands again. But 65 goals let in from 25 games is approaching 3 conceded for each outing. Just an unusual moment of mutual agreement between the two head coaches. Stojic not best pleased with the offside call initially, but Adam Piddock reassured him that it was indeed the case, so he's now happy to return to his more neutral state. He's the outgoing Moreland City head coach. Well, they responded well to the opening Dandy Thunder goal, Moreland City. Are they able to once again just take control of the game in response to going behind? Salomovsky has other ideas as he wins back the ball in the middle of the park. Rizmani slides it back towards his teammate. It's a well-worked goal, and Salomovsky makes it 3 for Dandy Thunder. A wonderful combination with Harris Rizmani and Salomovsky with the finish to match. As Dandy Thunder make it 3-1, yet again cutting right through the Moreland City backline. And that one, Salomovsky's first NPL goal of the campaign. So a nice way to round things out for him. And you see a bit of frustration from Moreland City. Just a little bit too easy to be cut right through, and probably means that the scoreline doesn't quite reflect how the general play has gone. But ultimately, if your defence isn't strong enough, teams at this level will punish you with regularity and very quickly, as Dandy Thunder have proven yet again. Suresh looking for the quick response again. It's a good cross in. Sands keeps the chance alive. Jose Sands makes some space on his right boot. Off the post and out. Well, so close to a second goal for Moreland City. And Jose Sands showing that he just exudes quality. That was such a well-worked piece of play. And on another day, could have been just a couple of centimetres more inside the post and would have ended up in the back of the net too. It's fair to say that this first half has not failed to deliver on the entertainment front. Theodorakopoulos looks out to the left-hand side. Jose Sands again, thinking about doing precisely what he did just a minute ago, the right foot curler. Instead, returns it to Theodorokopoulos. Although now Dandy Thunder can counter with Suleimani. Lofted ball over the top. Keeper came but didn't collect. Is Rizmani able to finish off this opportunity? He looks more central. Dixon right into the gloves of Condolian. Harris Rizmani, he actually dealt with it, I thought, quite well in terms of not spurning the opportunity and waiting for his teammates to arrive. Dixon, though, the finish was much too central. It's safe to say that those couple of Thunder goals have upped the intensity from Moreland City in these last few minutes as they head towards half-time. Spall plays it into the middle. Targets back out to the right-hand side. The cross in that time. Well, a bit of miscommunication between defender and goalkeeper. A real coming together in the penalty area of Dandy Thunder. That final pass, though, it's a simple take for Ismaili. Selimovsky, scorer of the third goal, looks to get the ball clear from the danger zone. Well, the good news for Moreland City, despite the 3-1 scoreline, is that they certainly look capable of scoring more goals. The woodwork has denied Jose Sanz a couple of times. Although a giveaway like that poses a real threat. Dixon yet again gets it past the goalkeeper, but too much pull on the shot. And it rolls wide of the far post. And as Moreland City start to show a little bit more ambition and intent, having fallen 2 goals behind, we see Dandy Thunder pouncing on the counter on a number of occasions. And it may be a little bit unfortunate not to have a fourth. Dixon spurning the chance. So it'll be Joseph Romero to get play back underway with the throw. Still going is Romero, runs into Spall. Romero this time goes with the cross. Dunn is there, looked to have kept the ball in play, but gave away a foul in the process. To have a number of big names on the bench potentially to be introduced in the second half. Dandy Thunder, of course, well, Piers Clark is the goalkeeper, although wouldn't imagine that we'd see him in this afternoon's game, but Wade Decker and Birkin Kurt are both sitting potentially ready to come on for the final 45 minutes of the season, as well as Daniel Alessi, Aidan Edwards and Liram Asani. Also some quality to come from Moreland City. Michael Tsitsidis, Kura Rob, Apaya Kuno, Luke Jurcic, Dean Waters and Santo Agwek are the players named. And David Stojic's substitutes bench. Chance perhaps here for Suresh. Goes in board. Karamad back to Suresh. Challenged by Romero. Eventually it was the Moreland attacker who got the cross in, but too close to Anthony Van Reert, who collapses on the ball. as we prepare to head into the final 60 seconds of first half regulation. Kildare back to the young goalkeeper, Van Reet. His clearance was right into the feet of Suleimani. Now the ball lofted forward by Baki. The Moreland City defence scrambles. There's a real battle of strength in the middle of the park, which is ultimately won by Ismaili. Sevdim Ismaili now out to the right-hand side. The scorer of the third goal, Selimovsky. Going head-to-head with Kiffel and winning out as well. And the end result is a Dandenong Thunder corner. As we head into 2 minutes of first half stoppage time. So certainly time enough for either of these teams to add a late twist to the first 45. See Merzim Mehmeti making his way over to deliver the corner. They're in no rush to get play back underway, Dandy Thunder, with the game very much in their control as things stand. Mehmeti's delivery is a good one, and it beat just about everyone. And you thought for a moment it might sneak into the far post, just inside the far post, that is. But Alex Kandolian is grateful as he watches the ball go wide of everything. So danger averted for Moreland City. First half of this final day fixture very much feeling like a final day fixture with the way it's played out as well. The offside flag there will deny Rizmani, even though the ball ended up nestling itself in the bottom corner. But just with the way that both teams have shown lots of attacking intent and perhaps somewhat less defensively disciplined than they might otherwise have been, as is really only natural for the final game of the campaign. Maybe one more move forward for Moreland City as they look to halve the deficit. Diego Cuba slides it towards Theodorakopoulos. Kept alive by Tarjith, and the follow-up shot came in. Cuba was the man with the strike. Thunder get the ball clear. Now Sands tries a high degree of difficulty across that one, and it was reflected in the outcome as it goes comfortably into the hands of Anthony Van Reet, and that brings us to an end of the first half. Here at George Andrews, it's Dandy Thunder in firm control of the contest. Danny Dixon's early free kick putting them on the right path. Moreland City found their way back with a Theodorakopoulos equaliser, but then 2 goals in quick succession towards the end of the half from Thomas Dunn and Mohamed Selimovsky has Thunder in command as they head into their final 45 minutes of the season. At the break at George Andrews, Dandenong Thunder 3, Moreland City 1.
met somewhere, and I'm like, mate, I see you around all the time. His name's Samir, but he's from America. I go, mate, where do you keep this guy? He said, in your bar. I said, no way, mate, that's like a human. It's like 80 kilos. Hey, mate, he's got one room just for himself. You done vet, he's on his own, right? He's got two better, he's got one for him. I said, mate, he's
I'm looking for you. You just stay up there, not here. What's going on?
see you again. North next way. You were saying that they're losing 3 goals or something. Up by 7. Me too. Right.
Yeah.
They're on 6. Yeah, well, they have to. They should. They should let it pick up the draft. Yeah, it's enough. No, that's wrong. He is. Is he? Yeah, you've got gold money, yeah. Yeah, they said he was going to go. They said he retired, but yeah, you might be surprised that you know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they'll just keep it quiet for a couple of months, right? And then they go, sorry, mate, I took that off, just help them out for a year or two. Yeah, that's right. They know how to play it. You Jimmy's on, man. Right. And then you got Sid. I know Sid. Yeah. So how's Sid going? He's at Hall Scaffold, where? Yeah. He's alright, yeah? Really? Yeah, I had my sister-in-law go too. Pancreatic cirrhosis. It's hard, mate, you know, depends what kind of family you've got. God, just the word cancer is just scary enough, you know. Okay. Yeah. But, I don't know, mate. If your brother hasn't fucking gotten sick from all the fucking alcohol and partying he's been doing, nobody will. He's unbelievable. I know I only met your son through Sammy. Yeah, I only met him through Sammy, and Sammy, we're all South Melbourne boys, and Sammy bought my neighbour's house. Yeah, I actually sold it. No, I sold it. That family had it for like maybe 3 to 5 years, and then the old man died. And then you find out Sammy's bought it, you know? Yeah. It's a bit small. Seen you, two have never heard that you work. You're always living the dream. In Moreland. Glentree Road, Moreland, or High Street? Just set it up. That's a plus. Special occasion. Oh, yeah. They do market price. Yeah. For them, $25, $40, they get spend it. Yeah, so you get Thank you. Thank you, you'd be good. Yeah. So you feel comfortable. Yeah, you feel comfortable. Enough's enough now. I mean, enough of fucking collectors in the market. You need your downtime, but you know, yeah. It's good about it. It starts at 10 Sundays. Get a couple of coffees, mate. Try to meet
Well, welcome back to George Andrews Reserve for the second half of this final day fixture between Dandenong Thunder and Moreland City. And just in case you forgot it was the last game of the season, we've seen quite a bit of action from the substitutes bench at the break. Dandenong Thunder looks to be just the one change, with Lyra Masani coming on to replace the scorer of the opening goal, Danny Dixon. But for Moreland City, well, David Stoyage, having given his final team talk in charge, has made a raft of changes as Michael Soutsidis, Apaya Kuno and Dean Waters all are brought into the game for the second half, and most notably of all, Santo Agwek, the backup goalkeeper, is on for the second half. He's taken the place of Alex Condolian. So a new look part of the team for Moreland City, as we see the first real involvement of Apaya Kuno as he looks to send that cross in. Score at the break was Thunder 3, Moreland 1. So the game, the first half, very much favouring the home team, at least on the scoreboard. Not an entirely fair reflection of how the general play panned out in that first 45. Moreland City enjoying some real periods of control, but it was their defensive end that let them down. Thunder just slicing right through them on a couple of occasions. We see it is some early territory for the visitors. Moreland City throw into the box, kept alive by Okuno. Runs into the substitute for Thunder, Lyra Masani, but chance still alive for Moreland. So we see the attempted cross from Spall. And the end result is a Thunder free kick. As we see Selimovsky brought down in his own penalty area. Selimovsky, the scorer of the third goal for Dandy Thunder. It's Thomas Dunn scoring the second after Danny Dixon had opened the scoring for the afternoon. So Moreland City certainly not sitting on their heels for the final half of their top flight run. And they've started with a show of some early ambition. Now we'll look down the left-hand side. Ball carried by Karamad. Exchanges with Cuba, back to Karamad. And the defensive challenge from Kildare was a good one, and it's ended in a Dandy Thunder goal kick as well. Final touch deemed to come off the Moreland winger, Kasra Karamad. And not for the first time, David Stoich not in full agreement with the decision of the officials. Theodorakopoulos, who scored Moreland City's goal in that first half. It's a clever reverse ball. The offside flag means it won't count for anything. Kasra Karamad making that run in behind. And it was a nice idea from Theodorakopoulos, but nothing to come from it. It's again Karamad, who's been heavily involved in the opening minutes of this second half. Selimovsky. Thunder just looking to give their defence a bit of a reprieve. They fail again to do that though, as a long ball out will quickly be sent back forward. Michael Soutsidis, one of the substitutes for Moreland City, at the back. This is Ailey. Man on a yellow card for the rest of this game. And now Rizmani plays it through to Selimovsky. Selimovsky with the cross, but didn't get that one right at all, and goes behind for a Moreland goal kick. So first real involvement for Santo Agwek. Another young shot stopper in the Moreland City ranks. Looking around the grounds early in the second half, Altona leading Manningham 3-2. 2-0 lead for Avondale at Port Melbourne, whilst Oakley are up 2-0 at home to Hume City. South Melbourne and St Albans sitting at 1-1. We'll pause for the ball to be sent in by Mehmeti. Further defensive header will allow Agwek to restart the play with the ball in his gloves. Sends it high up into the sunshine, and Jose Sands will carry the ball further. Back into Waters. And Karaman, well, is flagged for offside. Just the final couple of games, Melbourne Knights up 2-0 at Green Gully, whilst Heidelberg have a slim lead at home against Dandenong City. So as things stand with those Oakley and Hume City wins, or I should say Oakley and Heidelberg wins, those two teams will be playing at home in the first week of finals, with Hume dropping into 5th. Opportunity down the left-hand side. Akuno wins his team a corner. They've certainly been revitalised by those raft of changes, Moreland City. Very threatening to open this second 45. Corner sent in, and it's found its way all the way into the back of the net. But a foul has been picked out by William Quartermain. Moreland City look to have their second goal of the afternoon. But a foul seemingly on Anthony Van Riet seems to have prompted the referee's whistle. So we'll just have a bit of a delayed restart as Van Riet receives a little bit of attention. It was hard to tell just with the massive bodies in the penalty area, but something in the build-up has spared Dandenong Thunder a second goal conceded. Looking back at the replay, it does look as if it was Akuno who was deemed to have fouled the goalkeeper. Just a slight nudge in the back as he was jumping up to claim it. So Anthony Van Reed is quite an undersized goalkeeper, just 17 years of age. You might have been able to hear Diego Cuba voicing his complaints to the fourth official, saying that perhaps the smaller stature of the young shot stopper prompted a particularly generous whistle. So the frustration continues to build for Moreland, who will feel like they've been very hard done by this scoreline. So we'll see if that takes any of the wind out of their sails as they look to continue to apply the pressure to their hosts, who they've had pinned back for just about the entirety of the second half. Now that time called the way of Moreland City. Prompting a second yellow card of the afternoon. So after an electric opening few minutes to this second half, it's just been slowed right down by the last couple of incidents. So hopefully we'll be kicking back up into gear sooner rather than later. It's been thoroughly entertaining last game of the season. Haley has the support from Karamad, but it's Thunder who this time come away with the ball. Salamovsky up to Rizmani. And Rizmani had a little bit too much to do as the strength of Tsatsitis prevails. Theodorakopoulos out to Karamad, who goes the long crossfield ball, hoping for Sands. It's Mehmeti who gets the clearing boot. A run forward from Asani doesn't get far. So we remain locked in the Thunder half. Karamad looking into Akuno, but not quite on the same wavelength as his teammates. So that will allow Van Reet to collect the ball. Just to restart it with Ismaili, who's run into a bit of trouble early on. Cuba's reverse pass for Sands wasn't able to keep the ball in play. Frustration expressed by both Cuba and Jose Sands. It's been a real difficult season for Moreland, and have been more than a few games where they've been competitive enough but come away with no points for their efforts. Just the way this one's going, you wonder if we might be headed for that outcome again. Cuba again to Sands, the cross along the deck, hoping for Akuno. Van Reet was alert and quickly smothered the ball. That's a clever pass from Dunn, and now there's a chance for Rizmani, but the offside flag this time comes to the rescue of Moreland City. They've been on the wrong end of the assistance flag a few times, Moreland City, this afternoon. That one goes in their favour as Karamad is the target of the release. And Van Reet shows some excellent awareness of his surroundings to let that one just roll back into his box before picking it up. Real thumping header from Tsatsitis. one of the scorers the last time these teams met. Karamad looks to just barge his way through a couple of Thunder players. Chance perhaps for Suleimani, but Tsitsipas again is well positioned. Nice exchange to set away Cuba. Diego Cuba's cross picked out a teammate in the form of Jose Sanz. Once more, the finishing touch isn't quite there. It's been a frustrating afternoon for the number 9. Sands again, this time with Cuba. Well, the instruction from the bench is that he should have taken on the shot, and it's hard to disagree. Just when the finishing touch hasn't been there for Moreland City, you start to possibly overthink things. And we're seeing some of the effects of that right at the moment. Moreland City did manage somewhat of a great escape in their first season in the top flight last year, just edging out North Geelong and Bentley to secure a second season in the top division. It hasn't quite looked that way this campaign, although they have just picked up the 5 fewer points this season than they did last. This tells you that the circumstances haven't quite been right for them. Not the collective of teams really struggling this season that we had last. Compare Dandy Thunder this season to last. Of course, Adam Pittock coming in to try and get this team back in the right direction towards the top of the ladder. Last year it was an 8th place finish for Thunder, 10 wins, 33 points. As things stand with this result as it is, we'll have 9 wins this season with 31 points. Karamad's cross in, it's a good one. Theodorakopoulos with the shot. And it's prompted a point to the penalty spot, handball called. And the yellow card shown. A leave to Mehmeti. So Christos Theodorakopoulos, who scored the opener, has now drawn the penalty for a handball. And he never looked likely to give this opportunity up, did Theodorakopoulos, as he looks for his second goal of the afternoon. And to halve the deficit with around about half an hour left to play. Up steps Theodorakopoulos, right down the middle. Second of the afternoon for the man in the number 7 shirt, an 11th goal of the campaign. And Moreland City make it 3-2. There's still lots of time left in this one. So very much an opportunity for Moreland to still take at least a point, you'd think. And that goal well deserved after having dominated much of the second half. So the question is now whether Dandy Thunder can find within themselves a response. Bit of danger from Tsitsipas as that touch was a little heavy, and some calls for some punishment as a result for his sliding attempt to keep control of the ball. Selamovsky was on the receiving end. And the protestations of Adam Pittock have led to a yellow card being shown to the Thunder head coach. Tsitsipas just invited the danger, and that could have been rather ugly. It did look like he got to the ball just in time, which is why the referee was happy for the play to continue. And fortunately, Selamovsky appears to be unharmed. Adam Pittock making the case that the studs were showing. And it was a dangerous tackle, which is, of course, the argument for some repercussions. Nothing comes of it, so Thunder will have to get their minds back on track as we head into the 67th minute of play. The substitutes warming up for Thunder, so we'll see if Adam Pittock looks to his bench for the final phase of the game. Moreland City playing a dangerous game as they play out from the back, but it's paid off as Cetus plays through Ailey down the left-hand side. Just got the ball lost under his feet just for a moment, and that means he's unable to release Akuno. But we'll get another crack at it, Moreland City. Dean Waters in for Cuba. Cuba tries the sliding ball towards Sands. Kildare sends it up into the sky. Pretty firm wrestle, which is ultimately won by Artem Baki. And perhaps there's the counter for Thunder, but that touch from Haris Ruzmani, who's had a good afternoon. That one, though, way too much power on it. Reverse pass is a good one from Theodorakopoulos to Akuno. He had a difficult angle to work with and consequently sent it right down the throat of the Thunder goalkeeper. Smaley. Now Ali Suleimani, a player we've seen much less of in this second half, as is the case with Thomas Dunn, or just not in this part of the field as often. And play is stopped for an offside. Important intervention there from Baki to win it back from Theodorakopoulos, at least for a moment. And the charge forward from Spall ends with Dandy Thunder in possession. Might get another crack at it as Akuno now out to the right-hand side. Again, it's Theodorakopoulos on a hat-trick, lest we forget. Sands just unable to keep the ball alive. Well, they've been defending for the vast majority of this half, Dandenong Thunder. An opportunity to break new ground this season if they were to score that fourth goal. They've scored 3 in a game on 4 occasions, but yet to score 4 in a single outing this campaign. And perhaps the 5th can come with this attacking move. Opts to be patient, does Baki. And now Mehmeti. It's a good turn there from Selamovsky. Still going is the number 16. Kildare and Baki. Well, there was an instruction just there from David Estoyes for one of his players. I think it was Newman Ailey, to go down with an injury so that perhaps a substitution could be made. Instead, they will continue with their attack as Diego Cuba now looks to find Ailey. Tries the turn and wins the corner as a result. Or in fact, the assistant signalled for a goal kick. And now Ailey does indeed go down. So that will allow for the substitution to come for Moreland City. Still hunting that equalising goal. Rob is the player we're getting ready to have introduced. Taking the place of Newman Ailey. And indeed that change is made. So a Rob drops into the heart of defence alongside Tsitsipas, and looks as if Corey Thomas will move out to the fullback position, vacated by Ailey. Karamad, cross in. Almost the arriving Theodorakopoulos. Second ball. Missed by Dunn. Now Waters out to the right-hand side once again. Spall. Back to the halftime substitute in Waters. It's awkward to deal with, the Thunder defence, with the sun as well a factor. But that's a really good claim from the goalkeeper, Anthony Van Riet. So he got plenty of elevation and collected the ball. Cuba got the touch there as he looked to disrupt the counter-attack and did enough. And the second half just continues to be dominated by Moreland City. The reverse pass is probably the right idea from Karamad, but too much pace on it for his teammates to latch onto. So into the final 15 minutes now of the season for both of these two teams. That cross once again meets a defensive head. But as things stand, Dandy Thunder will be ending their campaign on a high note. And it's Moreland City who'll be going down to the second division off yet another loss. But they are pushing hard for an equalising goal. Once more the offside flag curtails the City move. Iacuno, the offender this time. Should be an exciting second division next year in which Moreland City will be competing. It looks as if Manningham will be going down as well with them, and with FC Melbourne Serbia and North Sunshine going up from the third tier. Plenty of exciting and feisty match days await, we're sure. Cuba goes out towards Karamad. Is this the moment for the third for Moreland City? It was the outside of the boot across the face of goal, and just too quick for Iacuno to tap it home. Subs for Dandy Thunder have sat back down, so perhaps they'll be seeing this game out with the 11 on the pitch at the moment. Chance for Corey Thomas. It was a decent attempt from a long way out, but yet again the offside flag is raised. So really their own worst enemies in this series of attacks. Moreland City, they're in the right areas and causing the defence to have to react, which is when it comes to the need for composure and quality right at the end. It hasn't been there often enough. Just that Theodorakopoulos penalty conversion to their name in this second half. Smiley eventually finds some support in a teammate. And now the veteran Corey Thomas, as energised as ever. He'll continue his run. He's now in that fullback role. Karamad with the cross, and it finds its way all the way through. And Iacuno has the equaliser for Moreland City. It was made by Kasper Karamad, who has toiled relentlessly in this second half, and finally there is reward. And the substitute Iacuno, who has so often been in those dangerous positions, now has a goal to his name. And Moreland City have come from 3-1 down to bring it level at 3-3. And so with just over 10 minutes of regulation remaining, question becomes how much Dandy Thunder have left in them to push for the win, or indeed if Moreland City will feel compelled to continue building on their momentum that they've accumulated throughout the half. And something in the restart has prompted the referee to add to his notebook again. Now Waters for Moreland City. Now in with the chance of securing an unlikely win. The cross in towards Iacuno. Well blocked by Kildare, but the attack's still going. Jose Sands. He absolutely rocketed his strike. Fortunately for Thunder, it was right at the goalkeeper. Karamad, who continues to work hard. Suleimani back supporting the defence. And perhaps now a chance to spring forward for Dandy Thunder. A misplay by the combination in midfield. The long-range attempt. Oh, Moreland City. They've turned this game right around. And Christos Theodorakopoulos seals a hat-trick in the most magnificent of ways. from just about halfway. He loves the goalkeeper. And Moreland City from 3-1 down lead 4-3 in their final game of NPL football. It's now 12 goals for Theodorakopoulos this season. And how about that? It's hard to argue they haven't deserved at least a point with their second half performance and possibly more. They have just been all over Thunder, who are now staring down the barrel of a defeat to end their campaign.
Come on, Diego, keep working, yeah?
Well, they toiled and worked and threw everything they could throughout the half, Moreland City, but it didn't look like the crucial goals would come. They got that reprieve with the penalty handball, but the equaliser just looked as if it might be eluding them for the remainder of the day. And then all of a sudden, two in quick succession. And all of a sudden they lead and they want more. Do Moreland as Cuba tries the slided pass. Razmani for Thunder. Hasn't been in this situation nearly as often in the second half. That pass. Well, it causes his coach to put his head right into his hands, Adam Pittock. This has been not a particularly pleasant afternoon for him. Jose Sands now looking for Moreland City's fifth. Narrowly wide of the post. And caught a touch on the way through. Everything going Moreland City's way at the moment as they have themselves a corner. Sent in, it's danger, and it's a fifth for Moreland City. They had a situation very similar earlier in the half. On that occasion, there was a foul called on the goalkeeper. No whistle forthcoming to save Thunder on this occasion. And Moreland City, well, it'll be for others to determine whether the final touch was necessary. Diego Cuba delivered the corner and the in-swinger. Well, Dandy Thunder did not have a response. And well, we will be their final half of NPL football, Moreland City, at least for a season, but they have made it a highly memorable one. Just attempt to decipher from the replay if we can. Yes, it does look as if it was the Jose Sands touch that ultimately led to the goal, though still seek confirmation on the scorer. Chance for Thunder perhaps to pull one goal back. Save from Agwek is a good one. And well, the man brought on in goal at half-time for Moreland City hasn't had a whole lot to do. But when he had to stand up, he certainly did. That will prompt Adam Pittock to look to his bench. It's the end of the afternoon for Septim Ismaili. Coming on in his place is Aidan Edwards for the final few minutes of the season. Spall, cross inside, Van Riet with the diving save. Only as far as Dean Waters, who goes from a long way out and thunders the crossbar. It ends up going behind for a goal kick. But Dean Waters very nearly, you'd say just about one-upping the Theodore Akopoulos strike. Akuno, cross in. They'll get to go again, Moreland City. This is a Pai Akuno. Diego Cuba. Aidan Edwards there to deny the ball into the area. Now there's some defending to do for Tsitsipas. But every time he's been asked to win this half, he's had a good response, as he does again.
Come on, get to it!
Cross in for Asmani. Chance alive for Suleimani out to the right-hand side. Cross into the area. The shot comes in from Dunn. It catches a touch on its way through, so Thunder do have themselves a corner. David Stojic, you might be able to hear, barking to his team to switch back on. Since they've got those couple of goals, they've just really for the first time allowed Dandy Thunder to make their way deep into their attacking third. So can they keep the door ajar with this corner delivery? It's a flat one. And there's an attempt at a swing at the shot, which came in from Bucky. Then on the subsequent counter-attacking attempt, Aidan Edwards earns his way into the referee's notebook for the foul on Karamad. And Dandy Thunder muster a response to what at the moment is a 4-0 second half. Shot from a long way out into the hands of Agwek. Well, 4 unanswered goals scored by Moreland City in this second half. Much the same as the first half when these teams met earlier in the season. 4 unanswered goals. So a nice bit of symmetry from a Moreland perspective. At least they can bookend their meetings with Dandy Thunder as some real highlights of the season. Theodore Akopoulos out towards Karamad. Still going Karamad and winning a corner. And so we will play 4 minutes to round out the campaign for these two teams. Moreland City may be hoping to add a 6th to their tally. All the damage that can be caused by the in-swinging delivery. It's a similar target again. That time Van Riet was in the right position, although he didn't require a touch as it goes out for a Thunder goal kick. Unfortunately for Moreland, they've been beaten in the pure goal-scoring competition for the final day. Altona have 6 to their name against Manningham. Oakley and Heidelberg looking as if they will indeed run out winners, so home finals coming for both the Cannons and the Burgers. And is there to be, though, a 6th Moreland City goal? Cuba, cross-in, met by Kildare. And now Suleimani, well, it was a tired pass for what's been a draining season for Dandenong Thunder. Does look as if the Premier South Melbourne will end their season with a win, as will Melbourne Knights. And Avondale as well will go into the final series off the back of 3 points. For now, we head into the last couple of minutes of Moreland City's NPL run. So Sands wrestles with Mehmeti, overly enthusiastically, according to the referee. This man, Karamat, has been just about the most influential player on the pitch in the second half. He's just been tireless in his ethic. Jose Sands, still Jose Sands. He's come very near on several occasions this afternoon. Jose Sands from Moreland City. Van Riet was well positioned again that time. So is there to be a final twist in this game? There's a belated whistle that awards the Dandy Thunder free kick. It was Thomas Dunn who was on the receiving end of the foul. Dunn, whose goal to put Dandy Thunder ahead feels a long time ago now. And he made it 2-1 in that first half. Can Dandy Thunder at least give themselves something to go home with? They've already scored 1 free kick this afternoon. It's Mehmeti who tries his luck. That's a strong claim from Agwek. And so Moreland City end their time in the top flight with a win and give head coach David Stojic a fitting send-off. Christos Theodorakopoulos hat-trick, including an absolute belter from just about halfway. The highlights of the day. And Moreland City will return to the second division on a high note for Dandenong Thunder. The season certainly not planning out the way the club and Adam Piddick had intended. And whilst today's result doesn't really have any material impact, it will reinforce that there is much to do in season 2025 if Dandy Thunder want to get themselves back competing at the right end of the NPL Men's Victoria ladder. But that is the end of the campaign for these two teams. Full-time score at George Andrews Reserve. Dandenong Thunder 3, Moreland City 5.